Hello, Buttercup. Welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is the nonfiction book Stiff by Mary Roach. This was actually not on my to-read list or part of my Nonfiction November TBR. I was sent this by Patrick. It's exactly 300 pages. I love that. I do love a decent-sized, short, I don't know, length nonfiction book. I have in the past read very chunky ones, but for this one, it's short and it's sweet and it gets down to the point. This is basically a book all about cadavers. That's really the one sentence summary. I really love when books can do like a one sentence summary and even 6 words in the sentence. I appreciate it because I don't have to go like really deep into it. But if you don't want to hear about dead people, cadavers, and what science does to them, or what humans have done to cadavers in the past for medical uses, or burials, or anything like that, this is probably not the video for you. So I would just turn it off and move on to another video of mine. But if you're in it, I am ready. We're gonna talk about some stuff, not all of it, but some stuff, because I want you to read the book. Can nonfiction be spoilery? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna briefly go over some things right now. I really enjoyed the first chapter where we are getting into plastic surgeons doing the plastic surgery on severed heads. Yes, that is part of the donation part of medical. Did not know that. I personally would not want my body to be donated to science or medically to do facelifts. That's just me though. Okay. And then I also really enjoyed the part about, let's say, cannibalism and how a lot of cultures, a lot of societies have at some point digested or ate dead bodies. And not just like the Donner Party, okay? No, we're talking like if you're epileptic, drink the blood of a newly deceased person. And this happened during the French Revolution. So in this book, we're talking about how, during this time, someone's fresh blood is great for epilepsy. So then, they were collecting the blood from the severed heads after the guillotine, just, I guess, with a cup or a bowl, a bucket, whatever it is. Yeah. Not for me, not for me. No. What, people? I don't know. I'm just, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed in the human race sometimes. I can't say I'm surprised. I've seen and heard and read too much crap to not be surprised. But I can still be disappointed, right? Especially when things are just out, just so ridiculous, like spreading poop over someone's open wound, or like eating it to help with whatever. Like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But did they particularly know that it wasn't gonna work because you're not supposed to eat poo-poo? No, but I'm gonna take a drink. We're not even that deep into this video and I need some tea to calm down. I knew a bit about the second chapter, which is Crimes of Anatomy, which is all about body snatching and how cadavers were really, like, quote unquote needed. And then, yes, in a way, but then you should legalize it, not make it illegal and then pay criminals to dig up grandma, okay, and then have it sold for a very pretty penny, and that's why they kept doing it for a very long time. Yeah, I mean, I get the whole history of all of that, but it's just like, oh my god, that lasted. The body snatching, the digging up newly buried bodies throughout Europe and the United States, and even in some Latin American countries. Like, oh my god, really? Do we need to do that? No, we did not. But that was again, disappointing. I wasn't too interested in the parts about cars and planes. I don't like cars, and I just don't care about planes. I can only care about so many things, and transportation vehicles, not that interesting, nor would be the cadavers that are, you know, being used to test crashes and all that stuff. At least, though, that is better than having my body, namely my chopped off head, used for plastic surgery. So I give the car crash research props for that. Like, if I had to choose, I would go with that one. But yeah, still, I mean, it was fine. I'm just not like hugely interested in vehicle transportation, so it was not like my favorites of the chapters. Chapter 7, Holy Cadaver, was pretty short, but oh my gosh, people again, not angry, just disappointed, where the Catholic Church specifically, well, priests in the Catholic Church, long time ago, and somewhat recently, actually, it's been done a few times, where they have been trying to prove with cadavers the shroud and how Jesus lasted on the crucifix and how the blood is legitimate on the shroud that the Catholic Church supposedly has and all that stuff. Yeah, that was a bit much. There was a scientist, if you could call this person a scientist, that used cadavers to try and figure out if the crucifixion was as it says it was in the Bible. And okay, I mean, okay. Now, someone more recently, I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong, I do apologize, Zugby. He actually did not like the other research, I'm just going to go with research, of the crucifixion. He did not use cadavers. He actually used volunteers, where he spelled out like everything that he wanted and what he was going to do and what that entails, and just very detailed. And he got quite a lot of volunteers to not actually be crucified, but to kind of be crucified. They didn't have nails in their bodies and they didn't die. Thank you so much. But they were strapped onto a crucifix in the man's garage with leather straps, right? Okay. And so, as I understand it, yeah, doesn't all add up. But if you want to read about the holy cadavers and come to your own conclusions about if the crucifixion of Jesus Christ was legitimate and it's all spelled out correctly in the Bible, then I suggest you read that chapter. The last chapter, but it's actually an epilogue, made me tear up. It did. Because after all this, and I only touched on a few chapters that like were my favorite. There are 2 chapters that I didn't really care about. because that's how I roll. I'm winging it. Thank you. Mary, in the epilogue, shares with us that she is, after everything, she is going to donate her body to science, to medical use. And after that book, finishing it, we came to different conclusions. Okay? Since, I think, 12th grade? I'm going to be very morbid. But since 12th grade, I have known that I want to be cremated, and then my ashes go into what you call a bio urn, where it's an urn that has a seed in it, and then your ashes help the tree grow, and you're kind of sort of turned into a tree. Yes, I'm going to be a tree when I die. I think that is a fantastical end to my life, but still continuing the cycle of life through a tree. I am trying to decide if I want to be a cherry tree or a willow, or how about an oak? I don't know, but I have some time. And like, really, like, any tree would be fine. Like, if I, for some reason, don't write it down specifically, you know, family members, I just want bio urn. The tree sapling is fine. Just go with the ashes in the urn and turn into a tree. So I guess she was debating what she wanted her body to do, where it would end up. And after all that, she was like, yeah, let's go for a medical donation. I'm like, I don't know, because not you, your family is often called, and the doctors or, you know, the researchers will tell like a vague description of where the body is going to. And sometimes people are like, so you're gonna cut off my mother's head and you're going to do facelifts on her? No. Try again. We're not doing that. That would be me. No, I would put in my will, don't do that. Don't let anyone do that. Mary, the writer, she's like, go for it, whatever. Actually, I don't know. She didn't specifically, because you can be specific in a lot of cases. I don't know, like 100%, but in a lot of cases you can be specific in where your body goes. And so I'm pretty sure that's what she did. She didn't go into like anything in depth because she was just doing the paperwork for it. And I appreciate that. I would not do it. As I said, I have my own plan that I've had for a very long time, right? Because I'm morbid. Also, maybe not morbid, because we all die. And I was faced with death many times when I was younger, and so it was a thing. I mean, it is a thing. Sorry to disappoint people, but it is a thing. And I was thinking, oh yeah, for a long time, cremation and just, I don't know, throw the ashes somewhere. But I randomly came across the bio urn, and I'm like, perfection. Now there is a few other ways that Mary talks about how you can go about having your body in a final resting place, not just medical use. There's one about, what was the term? It's basically natural decomposing in a specific area. There is a franchise that does the natural decomposition, whatever, of human bodies. I don't know if that's still going on because this was written quite a few years ago. But you know, you should do your research. Do your research. I think this is a very basic research if you can stomach it. And you kind of just go from there. Another place where you can start your research or kind of get to know your options, and also to come to accept that it is perfectly okay to think about your death and what you want to do with your body with Ask a Mortician. Caitlin, I love Ask a Mortician. If you haven't Googled Caitlin Doherty, or you don't know about Ask a Mortician, because that's the YouTube channel, and also she has a Patreon, and she has her own funeral home, do so. I love her. I actually watched one video after I finished this book about, I forget the term, but it's in Portugal and in Portuguese. That's probably why I forgot the term. I can sometimes barely speak English, much less Portuguese. Not like this is really an option, but it was an interesting video about how there were just not enough graves, which is kind of unfortunately prevalent in a lot of places now, and even in the past. There are multiple buildings that are churches, like you can pray, but it's also housing thousands of bones that are stacked up, and some of them are very organized, and other ones are just like very macabre, morbid, dressed up with a lot of flourishes and silver and gold all over the place. I'm like, okay, I mean, if that was one of my options, maybe. But that's not an option. But it's really fascinating what people want to do and what in some ways have to do with cadavers and bones and, you know, just bodies in general. And how can you have some type of control with yourself, with your body, after you die? And I think that is really important, and something I've been thinking about since 12th grade. And yes, you do also have to think about your will, even when you're under 30, and you put what you want to have your body go through or not go through in the will. And I'm thinking about wills, but maybe not for a little bit, because I need to think that out. Don't rush it, but also, like, it's important. This book will get you thinking. Yeah, it will make you uncomfortable as well. It might upset some people, but just go in knowing that it is an important topic. And Mary, though she is some would say a little disassociative of death, I think that she is doing way more work and research and just putting herself out there regarding what happens to you after you die compared to a lot of people. And I think that she handles it very well, considering you can't change the fact that you're going to die. So what are you going to do with your body to have that last final resting place, whatever that may be? And so I think that her jokes about death and her own dead body is perfectly acceptable. But if you might not like that, then probably not for you. If you don't like dead body jokes, even if it's about her body, like, I don't know. But, you know, some people might not like that, so I'm just gonna say. Also, I did not rate this. The majority of the time, I don't rate nonfiction books, especially when they're personal or it's a very heavy topic, like death. Death. But I do recommend this book to anyone that is interested on the topic, and just also to anyone that could handle it. I don't want you to be upset if this is too much for you, so if it might be too much, probably hold off on a little bit. Though, I think that if you watch Ask a Mortician, her earlier stuff, and then you move up to her newer, more like documentary series, then I think that might help you a little bit and then maybe you could get into the book. Ask Mortician, Caitlin also has 3 nonfiction books. I read one of them, fantastic, love her. I'm gonna read the other 2 soon. So there are some options. I don't think you need to jump in like Mary Roach did and just do everything that she had to do with her research, including seeing severed heads, getting plastic surgery for practice, but to each their own, I guess, as well. Thank you so much for watching my review on the nonfiction book Stiff by Mary Roach. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!